One rejected design changed everything. An engineer's failed idea. Military brass laughed it off. But then, pilots started dying at alarming rates. Enemy tanks rolled forward, unstoppable. Conventional bombers couldn't touch them. This rejected design? It had one brutal advantage nobody saw coming. And when they finally built it, the German tank crews called it the Black Death. What made this rejected aircraft the most feared killer in the sky? The problem nobody could solve. It's 1940. Europe is burning. German Panzer tanks roll across battlefields like iron monsters. Nothing stops them. British troops fire everything they have. Tanks keep moving. American bombers drop tons of explosives from high altitude. Most miss completely. Here's the problem. Bombers fly too high and too fast. Tank armor is thick on top. Bombs that do hit, they bounce off or explode uselessly. Pilots return to base frustrated, watching ground troops get slaughtered below. The math is brutal. One German tank can destroy 10 Allied positions before anyone gets close enough to kill it. Traditional aircraft aren't built for this kind of fight. They're designed to hit cities, factories, and bridges, not moving targets covered in steel. Military commanders know the truth. Whoever controls the tanks controls the war. And right now, Germany is winning that battle easily. But one engineer saw something everyone else missed. The man nobody believed. His name was John Northrop, a quiet engineer from California. Not a general, not a war hero, just a guy who designed planes. Northrop pitched a crazy idea to the Army Air Corps. Build an aircraft that flies low and slow. Everything about his design broke the rules. While other bombers flew at 25,000 feet, his plane would skim just above the treetops. While others carried heavy bomb loads, his would carry a single, massive gun. The military brass rejected it immediately. Too dangerous, too unconventional. Pilots would be sitting ducks for anti-aircraft fire. One general called it a suicide mission with wings. Northrop's design gathered dust in a filing cabinet for months. Meanwhile, tank casualties kept climbing. Entire battalions wiped out in hours. Then everything changed in North Africa. The Desert Crisis. British forces face Field Marshal Rommel in the African desert. His panzer divisions are unstoppable. They move in coordinated groups called wolf packs, hunting Allied positions with deadly efficiency. Traditional air support fails completely here. Desert dust makes high-altitude bombing even less accurate. By the time bombers arrive, German tanks have already moved miles away from their last position. Radio coordinates become useless in minutes. British commanders send desperate cables to Washington. We need something that can kill tanks now or we lose Africa. American generals pull out every rejected aircraft design from their archives. They're looking for anything unconventional, anything that might work where traditional bombers failed. Someone finds Northrop's forgotten proposal. The same design they mocked months earlier. This time they actually read it carefully. The calculations check out. The gun placement makes sense. One general makes a decision that changes everything. Building the beast. They approve Northrop's design in weeks. Call it the A-20 Havoc, but that's just the beginning. The real monster comes later. Engineers start modifying existing bomber frames. They rip out bomb bays completely. Install a 75mm cannon in the nose, the same gun used on Sherman tanks. This weapon fires shells that can punch through armor like paper. The modifications are extreme. They add 4.50 caliber machine guns for strafing, reinforce the entire nose section to handle recoil from that massive cannon. The plane becomes heavier, slower, but infinitely more deadly at close range. Test pilots are terrified. Flying low means every farmer with a rifle can shoot at you. Anti-aircraft guns will have clear shots. One direct hit and you're done, no altitude to bail out safely. But the test results shock everyone. At low altitude, the plane is actually harder to hit. It moves too fast for gunners to track properly. They name it the A-20G and ship hundreds to North Africa.
First Blood. November 1942. The first A-20G squadron arrives in Tunisia. Pilots receive one order: find Rommel's tanks and destroy them. They fly their first mission at dawn, skimming 50 feet above the sand. German tank crews spot them coming, but it's already too late. The A-20G closes distance in seconds. The 75mm cannon roars. One shell hits a Panzer's side armor. The tank explodes from the inside. Crews don't even have time to bail out. Machine guns rake across supply trucks and infantry positions. The entire attack lasts 90 seconds. German soldiers radio back in panic. New American aircraft flying at ground level destroyed entire column. The A-20G squadron returns without losses. Pilots are stunned. They expected casualties. Instead, they found a turkey shoot. Tanks can't elevate their guns fast enough. Anti-aircraft crews can't track something moving that low and that fast. Within weeks, the Germans give this aircraft a nickname: the Black Death. German tank crews start calling it Schwarzer Tod, the Black Death. When they hear that engine sound at low altitude, they know what's coming. Many abandon their tanks before the first shot even fires. The A-20G's tactics become legendary. They hunt in pairs called wolf teams, using the same strategy Germans used against the Allies. One plane draws fire, while the other attacks from the side. Tank armor is weakest on the flanks. Radio intercepts reveal German commanders ordering retreats the moment A-20Gs appear overhead. These aren't tactical withdrawals, they're panic. Entire Panzer divisions refuse to advance into areas where these aircraft patrol. The psychological impact is massive. German soldiers fear this plane more than any bomber. Bombers you can hear coming from miles away. The A-20G appears suddenly, kills everything, and vanishes before anyone can respond effectively. By mid-1943, Allied forces control North African skies completely. Rommel's supply lines are shredded. His vaunted tank divisions hide in caves during daylight hours. But the A-20G is just the prototype. Evolution of a killer. Engineers learn from combat reports. They make the design even deadlier, create the B-25G Mitchell, bigger frame, heavier gun, more armor protection. Then comes the real monster, the B-25H. This version carries a 75mm cannon plus 14 50 caliber machine guns. It's not an aircraft anymore. It's a flying fortress designed for one purpose only: killing tanks. Pacific theater pilots use these against Japanese shipping. One squadron sinks 17 cargo ships in a single week. The same tactics that worked on tanks worked perfectly on slow-moving vessels. Fly low, fire the cannon at the waterline, watch it sink. German forces develop countermeasures. They position more anti-aircraft guns near tank columns, create better camouflage, train crews to spread out and never cluster together. Nothing works consistently. The aircraft evolves faster than defenses. New versions add rockets under the wings. 8 5-inch rockets per plane. Each one can disable a tank. By mid-1943, these aircraft change ground warfare forever. the legacy nobody expected. The war ends. These tank killers become obsolete almost overnight. Jets arrive, missiles replace cannons. The A-20G and B-25H variants get scrapped by the hundreds. But their impact echoes for decades. Every modern attack helicopter, the A-10 Warthog, Apache gunships, they all trace their lineage back to Northrop's rejected design. The concept of low-altitude, heavily armed ground attack aircraft becomes doctrine. Military academies teach this story today, how one engineer's crazy idea broke conventional thinking, how rejection doesn't mean wrong. Sometimes it just means too early. The A-20G killed an estimated 4,000 German tanks during the war. Not bad for a design that almost never got built. That quiet engineer from California probably saved tens of thousands of Allied lives. German veterans who survived those attacks still talk about the Black Death in interviews. That sound, that terrible sound of the engines coming in low. Then the flash of the cannon, then nothing. One rejected design changed everything. One U.S. engineer's rejected design became history's most feared tank killer. This World War II bomber turned tank destroyer proved innovation beats tradition. The American tank destroyer story mirrors the M18 Hellcat tank destroyer. Speed and firepower over armor. Military rejected this design initially, but desperation revealed genius. World War II tank killer innovation changed ground warfare forever. Engineers transformed conventional bombers into fast tank killer machines. The M18 Hellcat tank destroyer World War II legacy lives in every attack aircraft today. Rejected military design, it saved thousands of lives. One vision, one aircraft. War changed completely.